Alright YouTube, what's happening? Got a new video for you today. Got a Spyderco, comes in a nice pouch. What could it be? This is the new Drunken model. So, Sinkovich design. Comes in a nice pouch though, get a little catalog with it. So, it ought to come in that nice pouch for how much money it costs. Just joking. Not really. Tripod's having some issues. So I apologize about that. Let me try to fix that real quick before we get too into the video and have an issue. Okay. So the Drunken, a very highly anticipated model from Spyderco this year. Very, very high end for Spyderco. Higher, well, not the highest because the Nirvana was, I think, a little bit more expensive when it first came out, and then the new Pasan, I'm not sure how you say that, Peter Sente Integral is going to be over 500 bucks. Oof. Think about that for Spyderco. That seems insane, but it is what it is, right? So I got this guy in from Eric, Indiana Knives. Make sure you go check out Indiana Knives for your knife buying purchases. Awesome guy to deal with. He is now an authorized Spyderco dealer. He also deals with ZT, Real Steel, tons of brands, tons of brands, Lion Steel, bunch of guys. So great guy to deal with. Super good, fast customer service, fast shipping. Shipping's free on all orders. Yeah, definitely go check him out. Support a small business. So the Drunken, yeah, interesting knife. Let's compare it real quick to the Spidey Chef, because I think you have to, right? You have to compare these two. They're like nearly identical knives. They're so similar. That blade shape is nearly identical. Another one that really compares well with it, that I don't have a large in, but I do have a small, is the Insingo Sabenza. As far as what we're talking about here is just blade shapes, I guess. It's obviously a much smaller knife, but a very, very similar blade shape, right? That kind of modified Warncliffe slash, I don't know what else to call it besides that. Get a little more in frame here. There we go. Alright. So there's three really similar knives as far as blade shapes go. Also, two of those knives are pretty similar in price. But before we get into that, let's talk about the specs on the Drunken. So you have some size comparisons there. Overall length is 8 inches. The blade is 3.375 with a blade width of 0.125. S90V steel. That's funny. That's not a drop point, but okay. That's definitely on the sheep's foot more than anything, I would say. Flat ground on that with a satin blade finish. Yeah, I'm not going to call that satin either. That's definitely got some stone washing to it. So I typically pull a lot of this just like specs off of Blade HQ, and they've got a lot of stuff wrong on this knife. So 4.625 handle length on that. We are looking at it. It's a titanium frame lock. Super lightweight, only weighs 3 ounces, 3.08 ounces, so very lightweight for its size. And yeah, that's kind of your basic specs on the knife. The weight is impressive. Like, you feel it in your hand, you're like, that's a pretty good sized knife. And it weighs literally nothing. It is so lightweight. A lot of ways reminds me of the large Sabenza or large Nkosi knife art exclusives that are very lightweight for their size. That's another... if this was an Insingo blade, it would be a perfect comparison, but it's not. It's a drop point. So I just realized all my lights aren't on either. There we go. I'll improve the light a little bit. But price-wise, you're definitely more in this range than you are this range. The Chefs are still under 200 bucks, I believe. It's been a while that I got one new. But they're, a comparable knife in a lot of ways. They're a little over 200 now. They're 217, but half the price, essentially, as the Drunken. So what are you getting more, is the question when comparing these two knives. This is just kind of a plain Jane, titanium frame lock. LC200N steel is great. Not quite as high end as S90V, but I actually would prefer this steel all day. I love it. It's great steel. You do have some really, really nice carbon fiber as your show side scale, and there is no liner, so it's very lightweight. And it's super... Actually, is there a liner in there? Oh, there is. How weird. So they did... I didn't know that until now, just peeking down in there. there actually is a liner inside the carbon fiber. Wow, and they made it that light with that liner. That's insane. Not really necessary. This carbon fiber would have been fine. I think it's a little thin, but you got some beautiful milled carbon fiber, so you're gonna have a step up in price there for sure. Some anodization on the pivot, a little bit bigger pivot too, and then you got really, really nice milling on the titanium, almost like a wavy feature. So it's an incredibly good looking knife. Then you have the titanium backspacer. So you definitely have some step ups in materials over the Chef. But double the price, I don't know. So it is on phosphorus washers. It is super smooth. I mean, very, very smooth action on this guy. I think it's on washers. It's got to be on washers. That'd be crazy to have bearings on this. Pretty sure it's washers. 99% sure. And it also has a pocket clip on it, so, or a titanium. Of course, it has a pocket clip. It has a titanium pocket clip, which we'll talk about later, which is actually probably the worst thing about this knife. But other than that, yeah, a lot of similarities between this and the Chef. So, you know, if you want S90V, there's other places to get that as well. Just a very, very, in their own product catalog even. Kind of crazy, right? The Drunken is definitely one of those knives that I just drooled over when I first saw it. I love Sienkiewicz designs too. And how lightweight it is. I mean, it's actually lighter than the Spyderco Chef. And it's got the steel lock bar. Does it have a steel lock bar? Yep, it has steel lock bar insert on there. So lots of good things about this knife. But the price point is going to scare a ton of people away because you're looking at $409.95 for this guy, which is a lot. Now, Taichung does make some amazing good knives. I mean, not taking anything away from Spyderco there. So fit and finish on this guy is very, very good. Like high end, you know, really nice knife, good. Yeah, centering's perfect on this guy. Nice smooth action, nice lockup. The milling on the carbon fiber is beautiful. The milling on the titanium is nice. Nice anodization. I mean, it's a very, very handsome, well done knife. So fit and finish is excellent. Ergonomics are good on this knife as well. It's got a very interesting handle shape that, you know what this reminds me of? Do you guys remember the Rock Lobster? Good heck, it reminds me of the Rock Lobster. That's a lot of what this knife reminds me of. Especially in the handle and the blade shape, actually. So if you remember the Spyderco Rock Lobster, this is kind of like a higher end version of that to me. It is very comfortable in the hand. I mean, very. Like, it just kind of melts in your hand. It feels super good. You do have some light jimping up here on the blade, which is not too functional. It's there, but it doesn't really grip your finger or anything. But I couldn't find any hot spots or anything in holding the knife. It's pretty thin, too. And it probably is definitely less than a ½ inch thick. Let's see. Yeah, 0.47 on that. So you're definitely, you know, lightweight. Hold on a second. 0.48. Well, that was off by a little bit. Well, correction, my calipers were not quite calibrated right. So it has very good ergonomics. I mean, just super comfortable to hit in the hand. You sit that in your hand and you're just like, yeah, that's a nice knife. It's gonna be comfortable to use in any kind of grip. I don't know if any kind of grip. I shouldn't say that, but any kind of task you'd use this knife for is gonna be comfortable. The aesthetics on this knife are amazing. Like, it is a fantastic looking knife. The carbon fiber is absolutely gorgeous. It has the wavy milled pattern as well as the titanium. You get that nice milling on the titanium. Good looking blade. There's just really nothing about this knife. Even the pocket clip looks good. Doesn't function well, which we'll talk about, but it looks good. It goes well with the design of the knife. It is very much part of the knife as far as the design language goes. And I like that about it. I like how light, it's like very lightweight, and I like how it's got some milling here. But if you can see, and we'll get to it here when we talk about how it carries, there's literally like no space in there. So the action is very good. Very, very easy to flip open. You can obviously Spidey flick it. And yeah, very nice knife. I mean, very good action, very smooth. Definitely great on the action size. Very, very smooth. How is its sliceability? How's it going to cut? That is the, you know, why we buy knives, right? To cut things. And let's go ahead and get a nice measurement here on the Drunken behind the edge. Guessing it's about 20 thousandths, but that's just a total guess. Oof. Yikes. 0.02, so 23 behind the edge. Wow, that's pretty thick. even more there. So pretty thick. Yeah, 23 thousandths is about. That's crazy because the Spidey Chef is like 17 behind the edge. It's a slicey blade. That scared the life out of me, that sound. Whoa. So it's kind of thick behind the edge. That's kind of disappointing. Yeah. Interesting there. I thought it would be thinner than that. How does it carry? So, yeah, this is where things get really ugly for this knife, in my opinion, is this pocket clip is just absolutely horrible. It's like, it looks good, and it goes well with the design language, but they just, it's like it was an afterthought almost, and they're like, yeah, let's not, it doesn't matter that you can't really use it to get on your pants. Okay, that's about as far as you're getting that knife in. I'm not even exaggerating. Like, to get it past that point with a pair of jeans, you have to, like, force it up in there with a lot of force. You see that? And then you still have a ton of knife hanging up. I mean, just, no. It carries well because it's lightweight. But getting it in and out of your pocket is going to be nearly impossible. Like, it's just crazy to me. Like, what in the world's going on there? Not sure what they were thinking on that. You know, you couldn't just throw the wire clip on there. It wouldn't look good with the design. I get that. Totally get it. But spend a little bit more time on that clip. Make it have a little bit more space in between. So, yeah, clip is definitely not good. And a lot of people have already had that kind of thought on this knife. And, you know, Pruvish Blades on Instagram has, I think it's Pruvish Blades. One of the guys on Instagram has already made Timascus clips that go really well with the knife and function a lot better. So not great, but it will carry nicely because it's lightweight and it's pretty slim, you know, in the pocket, under half inch. So it'll be a nice carry once you can get a functional pocket clip on there. Value, $409. Yeah, it's hard on this kind of stuff, right? Because it's made in Taichung, which is a good factory for making knives. They make excellent knives. And you got carbon fiber, and you got high-end steel, and you got milled, you know, lots of milling, but $400, $409. I mean, you're in the Sebenza range, and Sebenza it is not. I mean, tolerances on these knives are famous for a reason, and just some would argue, oh, it's worth more. It's better price than a Sebenza. It's cheaper than some, and yeah, I'm going to tell you right now, though, if I'm in this price point, spending that kind of money, this is where I'm going to spend that kind of money, because, yeah, just because. I mean, it's a Sebenza, it's an Nkosi, it's Christopher Reeve, it's higher end. I mean, much tighter tolerances. You know, the warranty's 10 times better. I mean, there's so many things you could say. I'm not going to get into that discussion right now, but I'm just saying that that's where I would spend my kind of money. If I'm spending that much, it's going towards one of those. Now, the Spyderco guys that love the Spydercos, I'm sure they're drooling over this knife, but especially for $409 and this is the clip you get, that seems ridiculous. I mean, not that the Sebenza clip or the Nkosi clip is anything fancy, but you know what? Freaking works amazing. Works awesome. So, it's titanium. I mean, it's not like it's something extra special, but you know what? It works. So, alright. So, the X factor on this knife is it's a beautiful knife. It is lightweight. I love that. I love the blade shape. I love the handle, the milling, the titanium, but that clip is like a no-brainer because a deal breaker because you're literally going to have to buy another clip for this knife, which is going to make it even more expensive. And yeah, I don't see that. That's the X factor for me, is that why I wouldn't yeah, why this knife's going to be for sale is because of that. Honestly, right there. Some people it may not bug. Some collectors are going to want to buy the Drunken. Some are going to, you know, it's okay to them, or they're willing to pay for that extra money for that aftermarket clip. You know what? And that's fine. Because if you did replace the clip, this would be a fantastic knife. Like, super good ergonomics, super nice, lightweight EDC. It would be great. A little thick behind the edge for me too. That's another thing I don't love. It's pretty thick. It's that's disappointing for sure. Alright guys, that's going to wrap up my thoughts on the Spyderco Drunken. Let me know what you think down below, and we'll see you on the next video.